Internet Nation. It is I, Alex and Ashley here. Back from a hiatus, kinda not really, with a video. It's been long overdue that I posted a video. So today I'm sharing with you guys a tattoo piercing video. Because fun. At this point in life, I have exactly 13 piercings and 13 tattoos. Ironically, that wasn't my plan to stop. It just kind of happened, and life has prevented me from getting anything new. Kinda until I get my tattoo machine from my dad's house, which shall happen eventually. Anyway, to start out, 13 piercings. Let's get to those since those would be the easiest to cover first. Obviously, number one is my septum piercing. I've had it since I was about 19, so that's 5 years. Wow. Wait. Not 24 yet. 4 years. So I'm pretty sure the math is somewhat valid. I'd say on a pain scale, this was about a 2. So kind of like a really quick pinch. And then they flipped it up to hide it from society. And where it stayed for years. Yep. Up until last year. For the most part. I have tongue piercing. That's one I was totally afraid of getting because it's all up in my mouth. They're gonna be putting this needle up in my mouth, all up in my face, and it's gonna hurt. And I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna have to sit there with my tongue out and subject myself to this pain. But it wasn't that bad. It was like a I actually don't remember the pain, but I don't think it was all too terrible. So I'd say it was like a 2. It was probably a quick pinch and it probably hurt for a second and it was probably very uncomfortable, but not enough so for me to remember. So keep in mind I do have a high pain tolerance, so a lot of things aren't really gonna hurt me the way they do most people. Next up, I've got like a gazillion holes in my ears. So my main holes are gauged. You can't see this in the darkness. The main holes are gauged with about a 1/2-inch gauge, I think it is. It's been a while. And then I have a hole next to this one, and there's one over here too. I still count these, even though I don't put anything in them. I'm pretty sure this one's still open. And this one is still open, which is why I do still count them. And then there are 2 more holes up here, which is still open. Ironically, they haven't closed. These I've had since I got those between the ages of like infancy and 17, 18. Yep. Back when I was living with my dad, I started piercing all these holes. And I got a industrial. That's just 2 bars right now because the thing helps onto my dreads. This one, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 was about a 9. 10. It's about a 10. Hurt like a bitch. Hurt like a bitch going in this hole. Hurt like a bitch going in this hole. Hurt like a bitch when they put the metal in. Hurt like a bitch for months after that. It's just a bitch. And what my old followers know me for, is my belly button piercing, which there's only one thing in there right now, and it's an octopus. There was a hummingbird up here, but it's really heavy, so it pulls down. So let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 2 more. There's 1 here. 1 nipple pierce. Just 1. That hurt like a 4. It was mostly a sexual experience, more so than painful. And for the navels, top one was about a 1. Bottom one was about a 3. It's painful, but not too painful. I'm trying to remember where that last hole is, but I think it may be the industrial counted twice. Oh, well, I'm sure I'll remember if there is anything. Now, for the tattoos, there are exactly 13. There's one that looks like, well, there's 3 that look like 1, but it's really 3. Mostly because 1, they do look like they connect, and they do share a theme, but they were done by 3 different artists, and I consider them 3 separate pieces. I'll show you those first, I guess. I was gonna go in order what I got first, but I don't remember past 2. So the first one, which was done by me, is this one right here. And it says, "Wake up, Alice." Can't tell if you can see. It says, "Wake up, Alice." It was done, that's my handwriting. It looks pretty crappy, but that's just the way I write. And the second one is, let me move closer to the light. This is totally decent. It's kind of a lamp, so maybe I can move it up. I mean, that's a better lighting if I don't mind being whitewashed. Oh, excuse my thumb. I kind of got demolished by Cutco, which is a thing that happens. Not necessarily a bad thing. Those are some good ass, sexy ass knives, and if you want to buy some knives, holler at your girl. Anyway, tattoo number 2. Well, actually, I didn't go through any of the sentimental value for Wake Up Alice, so let me see. This is... that's as good as it gets. It's a little hard to read in person, anyway. I mostly put it there as a reminder to come back to reality, because I do tend to drift off into, I don't want to say La La Land, but a fantasy romance kind of ordeal, something like that. But anyway, it's a reminder when I see it just to come back to reality and get a bearing on life before moving through it. The next one is a design that I drew it myself, but technically it was from a picture I saw online. I'm trying to take my bracelet off so I can show you better. Okay, at first I had drawn it and then tattooed it onto myself as a white outline, and then a red outline. There's actually a really old picture on my Instagram if you go way back. And then I had my friend redo it. Oh, by the way, 50% of my tattoos were done by Mike Easton at Unique Ink in Fordham. So if you like his style, drop him a link. It's I don't remember his Instagram name. I will put it in the doobly-doo. That's a weird word. Anyway, tattoo number 2 is this rose right here. It's a red rose. Well, it's a white rose, but my skin doesn't take white ink for reasons, so it's a skin-colored rose and is covered in red paint. It's a white rose being painted red. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily have any significant meaning. It's just a rose. I suppose I could say there is some significance behind it in regards to covered innocence, which maybe subconsciously there is a meaning to it, and maybe I'll get into that later after I think about it for a few minutes. But anyway, that was one of my first few tattoos, and I had originally done it myself. If you look close enough, you can actually see the red outline from when I did it. And yeah, the next one was done by my friend. His name starts with a P, I can't really remember. He did it, and I had to travel all the way to, was it Jersey? I think it was Jersey. Somewhere on some train, and he did it, and it's the my Alice in Wonderland tags. As you could see, it says "Eat me," and it's supposed to look like a frosting. Drink me, and made with care in Wonderland. The three come as a trio, but the one that's the most significant to me is the one that says "Made with Care in Wonderland." I got this tattoo. Keep in mind, I'm not going to remember the specific date when I got any of these because half of them happened like one after the other. But I got that one, I got these specifically to stop cutting. So, as you probably noticed, they're all over my scars. So I figured that I wouldn't cut through the scars because I didn't want to ruin the art. Also, the tag "Made with Care in Wonderland" is a reminder that I was made in a magical place, and I am a magical being, and I shouldn't be hurting myself. And for the most part, it worked. The next tattoo I'm gonna share with you guys is my first tattoo. Here, and it says "Monster." This is the first one I got. Oh, pain-wise, Wake Up Alice was about a 1. The Rose was about a 1. The tags were about a 2. I'd say closer to the elbow, it hurt a little bit more on the more delicate parts where the veins are. The monster tattoo is about a 1. I'd say about closer to the R or closer to the M. Closer to the R, it started to get more painful. Closer to the 3-4 range, where I realized that if I was going to be sitting here for a long extended period, then there may be a small issue, but thankfully that wasn't the case because it was only just a tiny little R. So it only hurt for a little while. That one actually has a lot of meaning. It was my first tattoo, and I wanted to get 2 tattoos that said, one that said "Monster" and one that said "Zombie," because of my excessive love for monsters and zombies specifically. So we're gonna say "Zombie Monster" and or "Monster Zombie," which I always thought sounded pretty cool. But I ended up just getting "Monster" as a reminder that humanity is the real monsters and that you should watch out for them. Granted, there are not a lot of humans that I commingle with, and most of them I have a hard time trusting, mostly because they can all flip on you like that. I'm not the best at snapping with my left hand. I think it's because the nail is so long, which is funny because I'm left-handed. Ha 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 ha. My next tattoo that I'm going to share with you guys is like the 5th tattoo I got, and YouTube people may not be familiar with my art because it's not something I share on YouTube, but my original character, Shinju, that I used to use in high school in Naruto fanfics, had a scorpion on her rib cage that she had received from Sasori as a mark when she was younger. And it's kind of like a territorial mark, kinda. It's something that he puts on his puppets, but he gave it to her as a sign of affection, and it would tend to hurt when he was near. I ended up getting it on my rib cage. Got it on my rib cage. It's just a sorry scorpion minus the box that's usually around it. This one was about a 7 on the pain scale. It was pretty tolerable, except for when he did like the top of the claw and I think the feet. Everything else was tolerable, but for the most part, those parts kind of hurt a lot. Not enough to like want to stop, but enough to not want to continue. Next up, I have I think it was my second tattoo that I ever got, which was a design. You can't see, but I'm unbuttoning my pants. It was a design that my friend Hector had drawn in high school. It was just like a random drawing. I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna get that as my first tattoo. And I don't think he took me serious, but I was dead serious. And it wasn't my first tattoo. It was more like my second or third, because I had forgotten about it. But it's one of my favorite tattoos. And this was the first one I got by my friend Mike. And I like to tell people, because over 50% of my tattoos were done by him, that like literally this one he did in his bedroom, and it only cost like $20. So like the beginning of his actual journey, back before he wasn't even in a shop, he was just doing it like out of his bedroom and whatnot for practice. And I'm like, oh, look how amazing he is. Oh my god, you gotta go to him. So let me stop fangirling and show you my tattoo. So this is my little voodoo doll. You can't see if you guys can see it because of the lighting. It's my little voodoo doll. It's one of my favorites because it's so adorable and cute. And there's literally no meaning behind it. It's just the design that I really, really liked. I was never necessarily into like voodoo or I wasn't into witchcraft when I got it, but now I kind of am. But I got it because I thought it was really cute and I liked the design. And technically it's kind of like custom, because we had drawn it randomly in class and then I took the only copy of it. Most of my tattoos are custom. I like to get things that people design or things that I design. I've been trying to get people to design more tattoos for me, but people are slacking, trying to cover the entire body in art, and people be slacking. The rows I had gotten off the internet and the tags I had kind of thrown together with like random tags I saw online, and the classic Alice catchphrases and whatnot. The scorpion, of course, that's from the anime, so that's significant to my character. And my character that I associate strongly with. The R&D tattoos on this arm before I forget. Excuse me while I dolphin out of this sweater. I always forget how many tattoos I have exactly. I just know that there are a lot in hidden places. Okay, so next up, there is my Ramona. It's Ramona's face from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Specifically the movie. It doesn't make an appearance in the book. He uses something else? Or does he just describe her? I can't remember. It's been a while since I read the books. Graphic novels. But this image actually appears in the movie for like a second. He literally holds up a piece of paper and he's like, have you seen a girl with hair like this? And that is the only appearance that this image ever makes. I got it because I am a huge fan of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I enjoy the little scribble. It's really simple, and for the first question I ever get about it is, what does that say? And I literally have no idea. It looks like it does say something though, and I wanted to ask the author at his panel, but I find it a little rude to ask authors questions about their more famous work while they're at panels for their lesser known books. It was at a panel for Seconds, which I don't know if you know this, but Seconds is freaking amazing. And you should go read it and cosplay it with me so I can be Liz and you can be other things. Anyway, it's my Scott Pilgrim tattoo, and I hope to get another Scott Pilgrim themed tattoo later on in the future. One thing about this tattoo, I love going around Comic Cons and asking Scott Pilgrim cosplayers if they've seen a girl with hair like this. Half of the time, they give you this really stupid look, and then they start laughing because they realize the shenanigans that have happened. Anyway, next tattoo is this guy. Not sure if you could see it. Probably. Yes, it's my little falling guy. I got him on Friday the 13th. Two years ago. Yeah, my friend had called me and was like, hey, I'm getting a tattoo and they're like $20. The tattoo's like $12, $13 and there's a $7 tip for good luck. You should come get a tattoo with me, and I am a addict for tattoos, so I was like, yeah, sure, I will come and do this. And I almost got a matching tattoo with my boyfriend that day, and that would have been fun and nice, but he didn't feel like anyone, so I was like, okay, that's cool. We're not all addicts. But yeah, they had a bunch of random designs for you to choose from, and I was gonna go with an astronaut because it was adorable, but I ended up going with this Bowen guy, and he's ironically really sentimental to me. All the other tattoos had little 13s on them, but not necessarily this guy. I think I'm always thinking that his body may be a 13 secretly, which I'd be fine with, and I may just leave my tattoos at 13 if his body's a 13, because then significance and what's the synchronicity? Yeah, I'm big on synchronicity. But ironically, I got him not realizing exactly what he meant. It hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at remembering to state the pain levels, but Ramona was about a 2. It's like slight annoyance, but not really painful. This guy, falling guy, was about a 6. I remember it being very painful, and I wasn't quite sure if it was because the artist was so heavy-handed or if it was because of the location of the tattoo. I just know the entire time I was sitting there while he was tattooing me, just waiting for it to be over. I'm like, oh, it can't take that long. It's just a small design, and it's so simple, and it just, it's so painful for no fucking reason. But anyway, that wasn't done by my usual guy, and I was used to his light-handedness and his clean lines. I always feel like there are tattoos I'm forgetting. There are 3 on my back that I will get to in a second, and 2 on my leg. I just have to take my pants off. And I am back, Internet Nation. Let me see if I can flip this. Okay, so I can't flip my screen, so we're gonna do this in a super fun, totally not gonna show you candies kind of way. So, the piece on my thigh, it says, "What if Alice imagined a trip to Wonderland?" And it's a line from an Airplanes cover by Travis something. I don't necessarily remember his last name, but it's from the cover, and I got it because, oh shit, I didn't tell you the sentimentalness of the fallen guy, but that's okay. You guys love me because I'm an airhead. I joke. But anyway, I didn't realize the sentimental value of him until later I realized that he was falling on my arm, which it generally looks like this. Oh, darkness. Generally he's falling. But if I go like this, then he's flying. And if I go like this, he's flying this way. So it's like I have complete control over which way he falls, or if he's falling or flying. It's all a matter of perspective. So I kind of see him as me. I used to be falling through life, but now I'm the master and I decide which direction I fall in. Okay, so the song lyric, what if Alice imagined the trip to Wonderland is kind of a play. Like, most of my tattoos are Alice in Wonderland related. I'd say 4 of them are Alice in Wonderland related, and that's not even, oh wait, no, 5, my bad. And that's not even, like, I plan on getting more. I'm gonna have a big piece on my thigh with Alice looking through the looking glass, and it's gonna be amazeballs. But anyway, this piece was inspired. It's a nice play on words. What if Alice did imagine the trip to Wonderland? What if it was all in her head? Now when I think about it, is what if Alice manifested the trip to Wonderland? So what if she was not hallucinating, but what if she created it into her own reality? The possibilities are endless. Either way, what if? Let's talk about it. It's a really good conversation starter, ironically. And this is what it looks like. What if... Oh, there you go. What if Alice imagined a trip to Wonderland? Now this next piece is one of my favorite pieces. It's a combination of Banksy's Scuba Girl, yes, Banksy the street artist, and a big sister from BioShock. Now a lot of people don't tend to get it, and I don't get as much excitement over this piece as I do. I guess because there isn't a lot of art and video game nerds out there like me boasting over cool scuba stuff. But this is one of my favorite tattoos. It's super colorful and it's always hard to show. There. As you can see, it's a big sister, and she has the cage that they would generally carry the little sisters in on her back with little ribbons on it, and it has the heart up top, like Banksy's Scuba Girl. And basically the only difference is that technically it's not colored because my skin doesn't take the light colors too good. But as you can see, instead of the bird that the original girl was holding, my version's holding a Big Daddy doll. It's actually one of my favorite pieces because Banksy is one of my favorite street artists. Mostly because of all his political controversial designs. He likes to poke fun at society and question society and its normalities, which is something I'm really big on. I hope that wasn't upside down. And BioShock is one of my favorite games. Granted, I don't play it as often as one would when it comes to their favorite games, but it's story-wise, aesthetically-wise, concept-wise, it's one of my favorite games, and I love the designs for the big daddies, big sisters, little sisters. Fucking Songbird was my favorite. I wanted to have one point I was gonna get a tattoo of Songbird on my shoulder, done up in the manner of, I don't remember what it was called, but the diagram of the human. I was gonna get that on my shoulder right here. I may still do that, but for the moment, that has been put on hiatus because of lack of funds. This next piece is the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat's grin with the moon in place of its eye. Now this one hurt about, the two thigh pieces are about, the scuba girl was a 5, and the thigh piece was a 1. This one was about a 3, I want to say. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I decided to get the Cheshire Cat with the moon in place of the eye because anybody who's walked at night with me while the moon was out, well, not anybody, but most people know that generally anytime I see the moon at night, I usually say, "It's the Cheshire. It's watching over us." Almost without doubt, because whenever I see the moon, depending on the phase it's in, I either say it's watching us or it's smiling down on us. And every time I see the moon, I take it as a symbol that I'm gonna be safe, and that no matter what, the moon is watching over me and is either watching me or smiling down on me, so I know that I'm protected. Which, I don't know, I have no idea when I started doing that. Neither did I question it. It was just kind of, yeah, this feels right. Also, I enjoy talking in accents. It's always fun. So I got that one to commemorate the moon always watching, always protecting. This next two pieces, or these last two pieces, are on my back. And the first one I'm gonna show you is my corset ribbon, which was my 3rd tattoo, I think, and I got it from some random place off of Fordham. I just went in one day, and the guy I originally was gonna go to wasn't there, so I went to the other guy, and it was an interesting experience because he looked like Travis McCoy, and all of me was like, yes. And then he touched me, and I was like, yes. And then he started tattooing me, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck have I agreed to? What have I done? I want to go home. And then he started shading it, and it was like he was scraping at my skin with a tiny shovel. So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this was about a 20. Literally, my legs went to sleep, my back was in pain, and then no part of that was fun. So, without further ado, I can try and show you guys my back piece. So this is my back piece. It's a corset piercing through the skin. It was inspired by some girl on DeviantArts. She had a corset piercing tattoo on her side, and I really liked it, so I made one inspired by hers. I had actually really wanted to get a corset piercing, but they have a very high rejection rate, and I don't believe in paying a lot of money for things that are going to reject. Also, that comes with the risk of infection, which is not cool. So I got the tattoo. Next best thing. It hurt like a bitch. I would not recommend getting tattoos on your back. Wait, nope, I take that back. You do what makes you happy. I will go there to the store and I will hold your hand and we will cry together because I will remember the pain. Hopefully your tattoo artist also looks like Travis McCoy, so it kind of evens out because he was really cute. Almost made it worth it. Anyway, this last piece is a work in progress. I did not have the funds to go back to get it finished, which I guess now is a good thing because it was going to be a big piece that spawned far off from my back and covered most of my back in color. But that is not how it happened because money and life and all that good stuff. So yeah, basically right now it's just Pocahontas, and this piece was hand-drawn by me. I'm trying to do this the lazy way so I don't have to take my entire shirt off. And I took the shirt off, didn't get too excited. So yeah, this is the piece. It's basically just Pocahontas right now. I'm not sure if you can, my hand is in the way. So here you go, this is Pocahontas right now. But when I'm done with it, it will be a big piece of Pocahontas. And, so yeah, it's gonna be a big piece with Pocahontas and Cora. And the reason I'm over here in all this godforsaken darkness is so I can show you the final piece. I'm currently coloring it on my laptop for an art show. And I also really like having colored versions of my tattoos so I can show my artist. I'm currently not done with it. I'm actually still coming up with the concept and how to involve Rava and Vatu, which nobody knows this about me, but as much as I enjoy the Legend of Korra lore and learning more about the origins of the Avatar, I am not a huge fan of the concept art, well, not concept art, of the design of Rava and Vatu. I find it to be rather unaesthetically pleasing, actually. But here is the piece. Yes, yes. Here's the piece. As you can see, it also involves, well, you can't see it now because of the black, but as you can see, the piece involves Pocahontas and Cora, who's going to fit between Pocahontas and my corset. And it's not necessarily done. You can only see the earth right now. But when it's finished, Cora's going to be bending water over here, fire over here, and then air that's going to go up and do some stuff with Pocahontas and her colors of the wind that's eventually going to transcend something involving Rava and Vatu. It's a very detailed piece. As you can see, oh man. I love my laptop and its constant need to create chaos. As you can see, Pocahontas is she's manifesting a Ankh. So she's basically manifesting life through meditation, and she is naked because she is comfortable with her body. And she is wearing a combination of a Egyptian headdress. You can see through the gold, and a Native American shaman headdress. Granted, it's said that only shamans get to wear these things, but I do plan on being a shaman before the time I die. The headdress is also a combination of a shamanic headdress, a shamanic feathered headdress, and the Egyptian god Hathor's headdress. Hathor is the god of creation and fertility. Well, is it creation or is it just fertility? I'm a little rusty on my Hathor lore, but she's also wearing Egyptian jewelry to signify the connection. Her piercing is not, body thing is not done. And as you can see, they both have their third eyes open. Cora has her eyes open because she's the avatar, obviously, and she's bending. You need your eyes to bend. She's holding Juan's teapot, where the water that she's bending is coming out of. Also carrying Lu and Ta. I believe I said that right. It's a little late. I'm a little tired and a little rusty on my lore, so don't chew me up and spit me out because I do know better. And also, as you may be able to see, what's coming out of Juan's teapot is a little universe, or technically it's a black hole with the universe gravitating around it. And on the teapot, Juan's Whatever that little spiral symbol symbolized, it was replaced for the Arabic word for God, Allah. Because it's a huge spiritual connection piece, and it's going to be big and beautiful and colorful and very, very significant. Technically, I was supposed to get the elements tattooed on my body after mastering bending those elements. Yes, actually bending the elements and or mastering the associated martial art. But technically, I'm still designing the piece, and I'm not going to be getting it for a while unless a really good artist comes out of nowhere like, hey, I need to do your piece. So I'm going to do this for free and get lots of publication off of it, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, cool, I'm down. You down? I'm down. I'll totally be your tattoo model. Let's make it happen. So, yeah, that was all my tattoos and all my piercings. I generally usually feel like I'm forgetting one because I generally usually do forget one, but this time I think I didn't. Since this video is so long, I will talk about other tattoos. Sorry about that. I hear my ferret in the next room causing a mess for me to pick up. In another video, I will talk about other tattoo designs that I would like to get. And if anybody is interested in having a tattoo designed by me, do send me an email or leave me a comment or hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/AlexandAshley. If you type in Alex and Ashley, it'll bring you to my fan page, but if you type in Alex and Ashley W, it'll take you to my personal page, and you can ask me all the fun questions that you want. Also, hit me up on Instagram at unperf and Twitter at Alexian at ATDAH. I don't know why it came out like that. Alexian at the moment. It used to be ATM, but people kept saying ask the mouse, so I had to change it because no ask the mouth here. No, thank you. Anyway, have a wonderful night, Internet Nation. Bye bye.